Hey, Driscoll, you want to count it down?
Yes, sir.
My Zwift is acting up as we speak.
20. 20 seconds.
20 seconds.
20 seconds. Good morning, everybody. 15, 13, 12, 11, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 2, 1. Happy New Year.
Very good.
Sorry.
Very nice, Christopher.
Happy New Year.
The way you count down like that,
Yeah.
just professional all the way. All right, I'm in.
So that.
How you doing, buddy? You good?
Everything's good, Jim. Yeah. Had Jimmy Dean breakfast sausage with the gravy. Looking good. Ready to bring that up.
Nutrition is key. All right, guys, let's get the body rolling. Nice, easy warm up. 5 minutes. We have a slight build over the course of the next 13, 15 minutes before we get into the main set. Main set's 3 by 15 minutes. In that sweet spot range, we'll be bouncing around every 3 minutes. But yeah, sweet spot's great. Great stuff because above our race pace effort, but it's not so taxing that we're getting into that threshold zone. So we're bringing the power up, bringing the strength of the cellular mitochondria up, the ability to transport more oxygen within the cells, feeding the muscles. Greater efficiency, getting us stronger aerobically, muscularly, mentally. So some good work here without leaving us too far behind the 8 ball from a training perspective. Especially off all that intensity we did on Tuesday. But think about, you got Ironman California coming up. You're going to be holding 75% of threshold. We do this at 90%, 85, 90, 95%. Going back to 75% on race day is going to seem like a piece of cake. You're adapted to greater stress. ERG's on for this one. To take the thinking out of it for you guys. Obviously, you always have the option to turn ERG off and ride it on your own. But being that we did ERG off free ride on Tuesday, I figured give you guys a little mental break from having to hold the power, focus on the technique, what the effort feels like, watching that stable heart rate because the power is dialed in to one specific number. So we need to line up those heart rate zones with the power zones. These are good workouts to do that. You know, hey, at 85%, I know I'm at 130 beats a minute. That way you go out there and race. When we tell you hold 85% effort, you don't have to look at power. You can look at that stable heart rate number and know, hey, I know I'm putting out 85% power because that heart rate and that power always line up. And the ERG on workouts are great times to absorb that information, that knowledge. So nice light on the pedals. We got a minute and a half more here, this 5-minute spin to get going. And then we're going to increase effort every 2 minutes along with cadence. So right now the cadence should be maybe high 70s, low 80s, nothing crazy. But as we build through this little slight build, we're going to bring up that foot speed a little bit every 2 minutes. Good workout, the workout on that TT position. Get in there and hang in there 15 minutes at a time for many of you. Might get up and stretch for a couple seconds here and there, but especially if you have any races coming up. You should be spending a majority of the work of the effort in that TT position. We've done a lot of work on it. You guys spend a lot of time practicing. Now we get in there and we hang in that position as long as everything's feeling healthy. Remember, you guys want to talk to each other, use that Zwift Companion app. Check out you can write some notes in there, write some comments, talk some smack to your fellow athletes, fellow teammates. Let's bring our cadence up. Drive your knees, relax the lower leg. Bring that cadence up into the high 80s, low 90s. Nice and stable on the saddle. Upper body's relaxed. Oh yeah, headbands. I looked into it. Zoot can give us headbands, $10 each. Gotta get them. Gotta get them ordered. High demand for headbands.
Do they make one big enough for Anthony Ross? Humpty Dumpty couldn't get up in the morning.
It's not about the physical size of the head.
Oh, sorry.
For his head, we know his head's because he's a movie star. There's not enough cloth in the world to cover the size of his head. All right, guys, hang on to that. Figuratively speaking, if you will. Hang on to that high 80, low 90 cadence, nice and light on your feet. Drive your knees. Relax the lower leg, relax the calf. %60 effort here, jockey. I'm going to bring it up to 65%. Bring that cadence up a little higher, mid to high 90s. Going up 5% every 2 minutes. So still pretty easy effort. Just working on that foot speed, that efficiency, that ability to relax the lower leg. Chris, we saying Anthony can't get up in the morning. He's right there. Guy's the arrow god.
Yeah, he struggles to get up in the morning, that guy. He
He's
partied
here.
so hard the
Oh, it
weekend.
counts.
He's partied so hard Friday, Saturday night. He can't get up. So I called him Humpty Dumpty. It's far from being Humpty Dumpty, but Humpty Dumpty couldn't get up.
He's up. You're on this ride. I'm proud of you. Session after session after session, week over week, month over month. 5 years of doing these rides. Every Tuesday, Thursday. Pretty amazing what we got here, guys. Use the strength of each other, especially in workouts like this, workouts like Tuesday. We're really digging deep. I didn't see anybody pull the chute or falter on that Tuesday ride. You could have done that.
Talking about pulling the chute.
You could have said, hang on. You could have said, nobody's watching.
All right.
But I got my teammates.
Hey.
They're here. They expect a lot of me. I'm going to push just as hard as everybody else. And you did that. Rider to rider to rider. Everybody performed the best with what they could. And it's pretty amazing to see. So thank you, guys. Thanks for that commitment. All right, what's up, O'Driscoll?
Hey, talking about pulling the chute, there is somebody on this ride this morning, Annabelle, that pulled the chute yesterday. He said it was too tough. Emptied out one of the chambers.
Just,
He
if
said
the
the swim was too
technique
tough.
is struggling and you can't get through it, I'm gonna say that's the wise move. All right, cadence up, guys. High 80s, high 90s, low 100s. Bring it up. Come on.
Did you hear that, O'Driscoll? Wise
Shut
move.
up, you. Shut up, chicken.
Hey, Alan, everybody.
I didn't call you.
5 years Alan's been on these rides. He's never unmuted. There he is. Takes O'Driscoll's snide comment.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to hear about that.
Come on, guys. Bring that cadence up. Let's go. Relax the lower leg. Let's work into that TT position. If you're on your TT bike, if you're on your road bike, relax the shoulders, relax the fingers, soften the elbows. TT bike, press those elbows down. Pull up on those handlebars. Feel how that helps the stability of your pelvis in the saddle. And when you have that type of stability, it helps drive those knees with greater momentum, which means we can get that cadence a little higher. Let's bring our cadence up. 100 to 110 for this last 2 minutes of work. 2, 1, let's go. Bring the cadence up. Let's go. Come on. Really move your legs here. Forget the lower legs even there, guys. Drive the knees and focus on that knee drive. And realize how that is what produces the momentum. As you're driving the knees, relax the ankle, release the calf. Let the foot move as it should around that pedal stroke. Heel drops, heel scrapes under, foot releases up and floats over the top. Left foot, left leg, right leg. If there's any tension in that ankle, let's talk about anybody doing Ironman California. A good chance on the bike, you're gonna get a headwind. You're pressing and mashing, tensing that lower leg, trying to work too hard into that headwind. You're not going to be powerful or efficient as you could be, but you're also working those tiny calf, tibialis, plantar, Achilles muscles, ligaments, joints. They're going to affect you on the run. If you stay relaxed, fluid, efficient, you're going to put out more power, keep that heart rate lower. 2, 1. And you're going to keep those little tiny muscles in the supporting role that they're meant to be in. So focus on that relaxation. Visualize pedaling into a headwind throughout this ride. And how you're going to parlay the feeling you have here to when the going gets tough on race day, when you're going into that headwind. All right, spin it out 3 minutes. We'll get in our first 15-minute effort here in 2.5 minutes. Get a drink. We're depleting a good amount of glycogen on this ride. Let's make sure you have a gel or two ready to hit around the 25, 30-minute mark. Then another one around the hour mark. Stay on top of that glycogen because we're going to finish this one off strong. I don't want anybody limping over the finish line because you ran out of glycogen, you didn't fuel correctly. All right, we're gonna try to keep a majority of this in our race pace cadence range. 75 to 85. First round, not too hot, not too tough. We're gonna go 80%, 90%. 80% for 30 for 3 minutes. Sorry, 80% for 3, 90% for 3. Bounce back and forth. This is only a 13-minute effort. Ease you guys into it. Take a little break. And we'll build off this one. So 80%. Shouldn't be too tough, but we're working on that steady state, higher end stuff as we progress through the workout. So don't hit that up arrow and just be, oh, it's too easy. I got to go harder. We'll get there. It's not about how you start. It's about how you finish. I'd rather start a little conservative and finish with the grand finale than start too hard and limp over the finish line. Who said that? Sorry, I made a typo. My screen is busted. I thought it was a 1-minute effort. I was like, oh, I screwed that one up. 15-minute effort. 2, 1, let's go. There's a crack on my screen right over the last 3. And I'm like, ooh, I made a typo on this one. Oh, well, we'll go with it. I'm sure they won't mind getting 2 minutes less work in this first one, but it's not. I was right when I made the workout. So it's 15 minutes. 3 minutes at 80, 3 minutes at 90. Two times through, then we finish at 80%. So find that race pace cadence. You're starting a little low on the cadence spectrum. Drive the knees. Slowly bring it up in that 75 to 85% range. 75 to 80 RPM range. So I was reading Peak Performance last night. Talked about it on the 2 p.m. call. And they're talking about stress. And how the average athlete, the average individual fears stress. They don't look forward to stress. It really affects the mindset because they're so stressed out about their stress and what's to come and how are things going to play out. When you look at an Olympic athlete on the start line, biggest stage in the world, and sure they look focused, but many of them look like they're just getting ready for their regular Sunday jog. And it's because the elite athletes have trained themselves to look forward to stress, to look forward to the opportunity to challenge themselves and embrace that stress that could be so defeating for many of us. They actually look forward to it. And I started reflecting on myself when I'm on the start line. I have a lot of people say, well, you look like there's not a care in the world. You're just out there ready to get going. And that's the way I approach races. I get to the start line and I can't wait for that gun to go off. Sure, there's pre-race jitters, fear of the unknown. All right, here we go. Up to 90%, cadence stays. 2, 1, drive the knees, a little more power. But I look at that, those opportunities that I don't know what's going to happen, how things are going to play out, to really show what I've done in training. And let that effort carry me through that resiliency, that mental stamina, carry me through those tough situations. And I can't wait. I thrive on that feeling that I get at the start line. And I'm not saying everything's cool, calm. There's jitters. But you got to change your mindset. I have people calling me a year out from an Ironman telling me they're worried about this, worried about that, worried about this, worried about that. 12 months out. We got to reframe that mindset to look forward to that stress. That's why we do this. Challenge ourselves mentally, physically. No one can tell the future. No one can read the future. There's no crystal ball. All you can do is accept that there's going to be challenges, unforeseen challenges, unforeseen feelings. And know you did the work physically, mentally, emotionally to reach new heights as a human, to get through them. And this transfers into your everyday life. Everybody has stress. And in this book, they talk about even dealing with stress the right way not only gives you a better quality of life, gives you a longer lifespan. Easier said than done. We know when you're in the thick of it, it's tough to reframe that mindset, but it's something you can have, a little voice in the background saying, hey, look forward to this. It's an opportunity to show your true colors. Might help us get through the tough times a little better. All right, back to 80%. 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Cadence stays. %. Cadence stays. Work that TT. Elbows down, hands up. Road bike, upper body's relaxed. Soften your elbows. Wiggle your fingers. Move that weight back into the saddle. Keep hydrating, guys. So you're not feeling great right away. I've had so many notes as of late saying, wow, my legs were a little fatigued going into this session. But once I got going, once I got moving, I ended up having a great effort. Felt amazing. Separates us from everybody else. Sure, there's a difference between deep fatigue when you need a day off and just a day of a little stiffness, a little tired in the body, where you know, hey, I can get on the bike and get moving, see what happens. But we don't give up on ourselves. We're racing Kona, racing California, the last big week. Stay in those calories, you take care of that recovery, keep hydrating, keep the electrolytes coming in. Sure, you're going to be tired, We're putting those finishing touches on, the icing on the cake. It's going to pay huge dividends come race day. We don't give up on ourselves now. I'll go back up to 90%. 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Keep that cadence right there.
You know, Jerry always said to me a long time ago, marry an effort to a feeling, to a time. So we're doing, I'm out of breath, 3-minute efforts. And Jim said it's 80%. So you should know my heart rate's at 140 right now. So you should know that. Oh, effort, feeling, time. Easy.
Yep. It all lines up.
Yep. Come race day, you know what you got to do. This might be a tough effort for Francisco right here. If he's racing 112.
You guys ever go into a situation where something's just thrown upon you with no outline, no pre-race notes or pre-meeting notes, and they just say, Captain Rick, lead this airplane training seminar on a plane that you've never flown before with these 15 new recruits. I want you to take off, land it, tell them about all the buttons, controls, gauges. Feed them a quiche. I never eat quiche except for on an airplane. What's that all about? Why do they always have quiche on an airplane? Rick being the cool, calm guy, he knows how to deal with stress. He'd make it happen. He looks forward to it. All right, back it down, 80%. Bring that cadence. Keep that cadence right there. Rick could deal. He deals with the punches. Bobs and weaves as he needs to. He's no stranger to stress. He loves it. Thrives on it. He wouldn't be a pilot if he didn't. High stress situation. Every day. 350 souls. Oh, it's always a soul when the people are on a plane. It's 350 souls on the plane that he's responsible for. He thrives on stress. He'd have no trouble taking off, landing, teaching those new recruits how to fly that new Airbus 7000. He looks forward to it. Bring it on. But then you look back, you're doing a speech in high school about where poop goes when you flush the toilet, and you're shaking with nerves. Oh my God. Oh my God. What am I going to see? How's this going to go? You might not even show up to school. You get so sick. Your stomach gets so painful. Some of us are Rick on race day, which is what we want to shoot for. And some are that 8th grader talking about the sewage system. Once you get going and you get into it and you get in that flow, describing pipes, the water treatment plant, and then that wastewater, at least in LA, going back into our drinking water system, which is going to start happening in a couple months. That stress is gone. You're enjoying the talk because you know it. You have a grasp of the education that you're laying out there. It's that pre-race stress, that pre-talk stress, that pre-flight stress that wastes so much energy, so much mental energy that we need for when the going gets tough. So Mitch, I want a 15-page report on wastewater on my desk in the morning. You're going to do a talk for the team tomorrow, Friday. 2, 1, back it down. Nice and easy. 5 minutes, guys. Whoa.
Hey,
Whoa. 5 minutes.
Jimmy, I'm just wondering, have you taken your medication this morning? Because you're all over the frickin' place, man. Water treatments, Captain Rick, shit in the water.
It's all making sense.
It ain't making sense. I just wondered. Look at Lynn laughing. Look. She said, "You don't like Jim, do you?" I said, "No, I don't."
Here's the thing. Let's use this as an example, Chris. I didn't set you up to say that, but going in these rides, I know what I want to talk about. I know what I want to key in on. But I don't know example I'm going to use or what's going to come in my brain when I'm talking about these things. That's the unknown, but I don't fear it. I know there's a lot in this dome, useless information to most others, that I can marry, as Chris said, I can marry it to a topic and help it all come together. You've got to embrace that stress. And I'm talking to certain athletes on this ride who I talk to daily, not even about training, about work, about life. Embrace it. You have a grasp. You have the education, the knowledge, the expertise to deal with any situation in your life. Embrace it, absorb it, enjoy it, and come out being able to brag about it. Hey, I didn't know what the hell I was going to do. I didn't know how that was going to go. But I'm the expert. I'm the one who knows my shit. You walk around with a proud chest. Stick it out. I'm the pro here. And that transfers to race day. Exactly. Kuno, you're one of them. You were not scared to say it. I'm telling you for right now, kindergartners, Kathy's going to kindergarten today. She doesn't have no idea what she's going to talk about. Kindergartens are rough. Believe me, I live with 2 of them. They beat me to a pulp every damn day. Imagine having 20 of them. And you got to entertain them. Remember that poop talk I was saying earlier? That's all you got to do. That's all it takes, Kath. Let's talk about poop for an hour. They love it. All right, guys, good work on that 15 minutes. Sorry, I went off on a tangent, kind of got lost on our technique, but that's okay. Some important things to talk about here. Because we work too hard to let that stress. Chris talks about it all the time, how pissed off I am race week, race morning. I'm not pissed off. I don't get pissed off. I'm just focused and I'm saving the mental energy, the mental fitness that I'm going to need later in the race when I need that deep focus, that deep concentration. If you spent so much mental energy on the anxiety and the stress leading in the race, it's just like physical fitness. Eventually your cup runs dry. Mental fitness is the same way. Race week, do what you can do to shut off that brain and save that mental energy. Because if it's not there, come the later stages of a half Ironman, marathon, half marathon, you're going to have a tough time finding that focus. There will be books written of this hour and 20-minute session. All right, next round. Go 85-95 for 15 minutes. Race pace cadence. Work on that TT position, work on that relaxation, good stability in the saddle, work on the knee drive. All right, here we go. Start bringing your cadence up now. Let's go. 85%. Take it 3 minutes at a time. 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Find that good rhythm. Find that race pace cadence, that race pace feel. And once you do, press those elbow down, pull up on the hands. Emily, how's Winston?
He's resting. I drugged him up.
Why don't you fill on the topic? Fill everybody in. What happened to Winston?
Winston had his anal glands removed.
You know what? Being one that's been there, done that, I'll tell you, it's not a pleasant feeling.
So poor Winston. He just lifted his head up when I said that. He's like, "You talking about my butt?"
Oh, poor Winston. Poor guy.
Yeah. Stitches down there. Not good. So he'll be all right.
This
it all
elective
comes
surgery?
with-
This Winston's elective surgery because he was scooting everywhere?
They wouldn't drain, so
Okay,
it was
okay.
very
I asked too
painful.
much. I asked too much. Tristan's puking over there.
Yeah.
No, Tristan turned green. Well, give the boy a pet for us. Leslie's just like, oh, just a day in life. It's just what I do. All right, we're taking the focus away from the technique, the presence, and we're hoping you're finding that. God, I wish these guys would shut up. All I'm doing is trying to focus. We're not doing it. We're not slowing it down and isolating it to the extent. But if you were doing a one-legged half squat, that's what you should feel, right leg to left leg. Hips are stable, square to the front. And you have that slight squat down, 2, 1, up to 95%. Every pedal stroke. It's like when you're running, you're balancing one leg to the next in fast forward. Riding's like one-legged squats. Right leg, left leg. Where you're isolating that left leg as the right leg floats up. Isolating the right leg as the left leg floats up. And fast forward. So let's think about that left leg. That's your squatting leg, your power leg, right leg is that floating leg, the leg that's up in the air when you're doing a one-legged squat. Count that engagement. Left leg, power, right leg, relax up for 40 pedal strokes. Let's go. Good, go over to the right leg. Right leg's your power leg. Left leg's relaxation leg. 40 pedal strokes, let's go. Good, we'll go back to 85%. Keep that cadence right there. 5 seconds. 2, 1. Good, way to stay on the pedals, guys. The bottom end of that sweet spot range. Still above most of our race pace efforts. Not only working the mechanical efficiency, working the aerobic efficiency. Further getting that cellular strength. Absorb and use more and more oxygen per cell. Telling Audra about this headband I wore at Ironman Vineman years ago. I went to REI before they sold these $200 cooling headbands. Before that, I went to REI and I just said, hey, there gotta be some type of headband here that's meant for cooling because all the hiking and Death Valley runs and all that. So I found one. Red bandana headband, labeled cooling. So I went to Vineman, had the headband on, flying through the run. It's hot, dry heat. Across the finish line, I think I was 5th overall or something. I ran like 250. Great run, headband worked. But I was so focused when I was running, I didn't notice. As I was going through aid stations, dumping water on my head, there was little cooling beads in the headband. And they were absorbing that water. So the headband I was wearing had turned into an inner tube. The thing was huge. It was like 6 inches away from my forehead, all the way around. Looked like I was wearing some alien pad or something. But hey, it worked. Who cares, right? But as Tristan saw in my last example, I'm going to marry this to our cells. Here we go, 95%. 3, 2, 1. I destroyed all pictures. Come on, cadence stays, drive your knees. The more aerobically fit we can get, aerobically efficient, stronger mitochondria within the cells, the more oxygen we can absorb, the thicker, the fuller those cells get. More oxygen fuels the muscles, the longer and the harder we can go. And that's what we're strengthening here. Let's blow those cells up to the size of those cooling beads. Why EPO is so effective. Increases the amount of oxygen transports and absorbed in the system. The performance enhancing drug EPO. Holding approximately 90% effort is a great sweet spot to strengthen those muscles and those cells. Good, keep it right there, guys. Hopefully you're in that TT position or that upper body's relaxed. On the hoods, on the road bike. Cadence 75 to 85. Check your heart rate. How does that line up to the effort? All right, 10 seconds, bring it back to 85. Keep that cadence right there. 3, 2, back it down. Keep the cadence up. Keep the pressure on the pedals. Watch that left knee. Make sure it's tracking straight up and down. If it's not, focus on relaxing the hip flexor and dropping that heel straight down in the front. Relax the hip flexor up. Drive the knee and drop the heel straight down in the front. And be honest with yourself. Don't just poo-poo it. If it's wobbling, oh, it's fine. It's just a little wobble. That little wobble, 75 to 85 times a minute for hours, leads to big imbalances that will affect you. Watch the right knee, same thing. And if something you just can't figure out, and there's something you can't get out of the pedal stroke, talk to your coach about it. Let's figure out why it's happening. Might need to see a bike fitter. Get the cleats adjusted. Might need a little more posterior chain strength, anterior chain relaxation. Good. Hang here for 30, guys. You're doing great. Awesome job, everybody. Good cadence. Nice steady output. Fatigue is mounting. We look mindful. We look focused. Three, two, one. Really great. You want to turn ERG off for this 5-minute spin. Get a little extra recovery. Do it now. There's no fitness gained in these 5 minutes. All we're doing is relaxing, refreshing, rehydrating, refueling. And letting that mind rest for a minute before we have to get it back into that focus for the last 15 minutes.
I was telling Alan yesterday that the last 15 minutes of the ride on Tuesday, I just lost all concentration, man. I couldn't keep up. So today I got to think about it. I got conscious effort on staying up, looking at the heart rate power. Tuesday, I just was gone, man.
Yeah, but what do you do? That's a great point, because bringing it back to Alan, what do? You adjust and you keep moving.
That's it.
Right? Maybe your fuel is low. You guys are low on carbohydrates or electrolytes.
Yep.
It affects your ability to focus. You hit the down arrow, you keep moving. I mean, unless you're so fatigued you can't turn the cranks and you're just, falling off the bike, then you get off the bike. But if it's just the fact that you're losing focus, your form's falling apart, hit the down arrow. Be realistic with your current state and get through it, just like Alan did yesterday.
Exactly. I gave him
Supposed to
shit
go
for it. But...
full buoy.
Yep.
He's a damn strong swimmer.
Oh, yeah.
He's not going to back it down unless he absolutely has to. But he didn't just throw the buoy at Chris and say, F you, I'm out of here.
He did.
Well,
He said,
eventually.
F you.
Can only take so much of you.
Only for the last set with deck ups.
That's
shut up.
That's
You
when
went
you got
home.
out. You crane kicked him, just like Danielson. Why Chris has a black eye. Alan crane kicked him. Will you shut up about my buoy? But he adjusted. He took some water out. He kept going.
That's it. He did the right thing.
Got back into that focus. In an Ironman. All my Ironman coming up in 2 weeks. That effort's going to slightly fall off as that run goes on. What are you going to do? Crane kick O'Driscoll on the side of the road because you're pissed? Or are you going to fight through and give it what you got to the finish line? Because we say all the time, it's not about who speeds up the most throughout the course of an Ironman. It's who slows down the least. Am I right, Leslie? Everybody's going to take a log off as that run progresses. But you guys know you did the work and that you can hang on. Even if it's by the skin of your teeth, you can hang on better than anybody else out there on the course. But you got to believe that, and you can't let your mind beat you when you're not seeing the paces that you want to see. Because that's going to happen. Am I right, Mulcahy? No, I do not slow down. I am Ivan Drago.
No. Steady pace.
Okay, he's got Chicago Marathon this weekend. I know if he's racing it, that last 10K, he's going to have his ugly face on. Doing everything in his power to hang on to what he's got left in the tank. We should have a contest. We bring up finisher pictures. Last 10K of Ironmans, marathons, half marathons. See who has the best ugly face. All right, one more 15-minute effort.
I just sent you a picture, Jim, of you, David White, and myself at, I think it must have been the Desert Tri a couple of minutes before the start. See how happy you are. Pretty funny. I also have one at you and I at Oceanside. We're wrestling. Not wrestling with wetsuits on. Sorry. Didn't sound good.
Resting. I don't rest. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Let's go. 85%. Right back at it. Come on. ERG's on. First couple minutes might feel a little heavy. Don't give up on yourself. Find the groove, find the flow. Dial into that cadence. Big deep breaths. And just relax. Don't put stress on yourself. Maybe you're just getting back into it. You haven't been around in a while. Oops, I don't know what I just did. You haven't been around in a while. Just getting back on the bike. You're losing that focus Chris talked about. Be realistic. Hit the down arrow if you need to. You've been with us some time and you're just feeling the fatigue of the effort, the pain of the effort. Your down arrow doesn't work. Turned it off. No different than we do on race day. Just one 3-minute segment at a time. Within each segment, we focus on the process. Let's make sure as you drive that heel down, the pressure's on the back of the shoe as much as possible. We're not pointing the toe. Keep those glutes engaged. Keep the smaller muscles turned off. Five. Let's go to 95%. 2, 1. Let's go. Left heel. As the knee drives down, drop the left heel. We got to keep those glutes working. So later in the ride, as that fatigue increases, the more focus we can put on that glute engagement, driving the knee down, dropping the heel, stabilizing in the saddle, weight back in the saddle. The better we're going to prepare ourselves and adapt to that feeling of what we got to do when that fatigue is kicking in. The left heel, drop it as you drive that left knee down. 40 pedal strokes. Count yourself for 40. Let's go. Good. Over the right side. Drive that right knee down. Drop the right heel. Feel those glutes work. 40 pedal strokes. Let's go. Good. Coming back to 85%. 10 seconds. Drop it down a little bit. Keep that cadence right there. Now left heel. As it drives down, as the knee drives down, drop the heel. Pull it under the bottom. More posterior chain engagement. Left heel, down and under. Count to yourself for 50. 50 pedal strokes, left side. Let's go.
Come on, Kathy Kuno. Embrace the pain, young lady. Come on.
Over to the right side. Drop your heel, scrape it under. 50 pedal strokes. Let's go. Find your flow. Good. Focus, guys. Come on. Take it 1 minute at a time. Don't look how far we have to go. Don't even count how far we've come. Just ride 1 minute to the next. We're going to go up 95%. I want everybody to slow their cadence. 70 to 75. 3, 2, 1. Not much off the cadence. Just a little more muscular. Stabilizing the saddle. Feel a little more muscular. You're feeling the pedals. Putting a little more power and strength into each pedal stroke. Visualize yourself being on the road. Just ride 1 minute to the next. You need a little more strength, a little more power. You can sit up and really use that saddle to stabilize and to work that strength off of. Come on, guys. This is where we thrive. In the uncomfort, in the discomfort. This is what we look forward to. This is when we're stressing out before a race. We look to this feeling and say, I can't wait for that feeling because I know I can sustain better than anybody else out there and fight through the adversity. Back to 80% in 10. Cadence back to race pace cadence. 5, 2, 1. Let's go. Stay on the pedals. Recover at tempo. Any lactate built up, prove to yourself that you don't need to back down to clear it out. You're really feeling the fatigue? Go 30 seconds at a time. Ride 30 to 30. Four 30-second intervals left. Think about driving your left knee down. Float your right knee up. 30 pedal strokes. Go. Over to the right side. Drive your right knee down. Float your left knee up. 30 pedal strokes. Let's go. Take all the tension out of your hips. Float the knees up. Left knee, right knee. No yanking those feet up. No yanking those pedals up. Float the knees up. Release the feet. Relax the hip flexor. Left leg, right leg. Three, two, one. Spin it out. 3 minutes. Keep your legs moving. Got a cherry on top. Pinch the girl an inch, punch the girl bunch, whatever you want to call it. 6 times 40, 20. The lowest end of our VO2 max zone, 110%. 40 on, 20 off. Now you have the option. You can turn ERG off and do these under your own power. Or you keep the ERG on. Just focus on that cadence and putting out the watts. So it's up to you. But once again, by us doing this, nobody wants to do this. On top of all that fatigue, nobody wants to do 6 by 40, 20. But the more you embrace these challenges, the more you're going to embrace the challenge when it's presented to you on race day. And you're going to look forward to it. We cut out now, say, I don't really need that. It's what's going to happen on race day. You have the option to put the hammer down in the last mile or soft pedal to the finish. You soft pedal to the finish here, that's what's going to happen on race day. So we're not only making the physical gains, we're stimulating that mental growth, pushing you to just the edge of what's attainable, or what you can manage. And in doing so, we're growing you mentally and physically. So let's hit these guys with vigor and zest and attack. You don't stress out about what's to come. You look forward to the stress of what's to come. And the opportunity to prove to yourself what you're capable of. Let's take these serious. Let's hit it with what we got. And it's time for breakfast. 6 times through, get lost in the process. Don't worry about how many there are to go. Take it one at a time. Here we go. Start bringing your cadence up now. Cadence is probably in the high 80s, low 90s for these. 2, 1, 110%. Let's go. Still in all your check-in points. Knee driving down, knee floating up, heels dropping, scraping under, knee floating through the top, hips stable on the saddle. Three, 2, 1. Keep the legs moving, spin it out. Good. Okay, here we go. Start bringing your cadence up. 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Stabilize in the saddle. Come on, reach. Reach, guys. Let's go. Three, 2, 1. Good. Nothing much to say, but execute. That's all I got to say. Execute. 5, 2, 1. Come on. Shift the gear harder in the cassette. Push a little bigger gear. Challenge yourself. Three, 2. Good. Ease it down. Keep the legs moving. All right, cadence coming up. 3, 2. Let's go. Focus on the process. The end will come either way. Whether you're staring at the clock or you're focused on how you're moving. May as well get the most out of it by focusing how you're moving. 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Move your legs. 3, 2. Let's go. Feel those pedals. Feel that power output. Two, 1. Very nice. Here we go. Last one. Let's take it serious. Make it our best one. 3, 2. Go. Come on. Reach, 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 reach. All the way to the finish. Three, 2, 1. Spin it out. Very nice. All right. We made it. Keep the legs moving. All right, before I forget, for one of my Ironman guys staying on, doing longer, I want you to dial in 70% heart rate the rest of the way. Turn ERG off, and I want you to hold your 70% heart rate the rest of the way if you're staying on. Everybody else, amazing work. That's how we finish with that grand finale I was talking about. Really, really solid stuff, guys.
Well done, guys. That was
We're doing
quick and
stuff
awesome,
nobody
man.
else is doing.
Yeah. Sorry, Max.
What's up, O'Driscoll?
I just said sorry to Max. Poor Max, first time on here, man. He's probably crying in his cornflakes right now. Or gonna be crying in his cornflakes. He can always join Tower 19, right? Can't hang.
Remember, we adapt to the stress we're placed under. All right? We don't have the luxury of going out, doing 20 hours on the bike a week, where half that time can be soft pedaling. We got to get the most bang for our buck when we're in the workouts. We got a lot of bang for our buck on that one, guys. So make sure we stay on the bike until the heart rate comes down. Everybody who's racing this weekend, good luck. Have some fun. Embrace that stress. Look forward to the stress. You're prepared. You're the expert. You have all the knowledge and experience. No reason to worry about stress. Embrace it. Enjoy it. Love it. That's all I have to say. See you guys next week. Go out there, have a safe weekend. Have some fun. Enjoy the process. Love you guys. Bye.